And just as a side note, that there's room in what has been formerly, that's not the right word. Formally, not formerly, formally, vetted through FAA in terms of environmental. That was part of our process when we did our ALP. We kind of established these potential properties. So we have about one space left for a commercial hangar. Commercial, that is commercial sized, not necessarily a business. And so we have about one more space within our current plan, which is why we're going after the new plan. We still have space for T hangars that are already on our plan. So the T hangars are the built, with several hangars, but that's current. So as we move forward, we'll
Hangar City.
We'll provide a thought. But there's spaces at former fairgrounds, there's space, on the inactive runway, but those aren't, formally approved in the process. They're just.
I like that better.
Hangaropolis. It's great. So anyway, just so you know. So we shouldn't see too many of these coming forward. We do have one more. We have a proposal in for a T hangar building. And so that one will come before you.
But that'll go in the standard, down here where all of that.
Yeah, it'll go in the next row past the most southern group, if all goes through fine. But that'll take a little more. That particular piece has not been approved environmentally, so that has to, it's a little more
How long is that
hands-on.
going to take?
It's not really it's more the applicant, and so probably with our help, but probably quite a while, I would imagine, as we all know how federal agencies work. So anyway, that's coming forward, that they're in the process. But just so you know, we aren't going to see a lot more of these until the next plan.
Is it feasible that we could designate specific land for hangars, have it approved environmentally, and then make it available for lease?
Yes, which is part of our plan. Okay. And that's on our upcoming 2024, I believe, to do our next ALP. So we're working towards that. We have the overlay of the taxiways coming up as a project, and then the next year is the ALP, which will it will encompass all that. Okay. So there's the land designated, as you know, the former fairgrounds. The big talk was it's aviation reserved, but it hasn't been formally. I know. Thank you. It hasn't been formally, I'll blame that. Approved for that because there's no taxiways.
Right.
All that same conversation. So we will designate, and they will be on the map, because right now the only ones that have been drawn out on the map are the ones we've just leased, and then one more. So,
is there space that could be designated that has taxiways to it? I mean, around where we have hangars now?
There's further, so show you. If you can see, it's kind of. Can you see with the glare?
Pretty much, yeah.
So these are our rows of hangars. So right on the other side towards 101, there's designated on our ALP, there's two more designated ready to go, but they still have to go under environmental review.
Okay.
But then there's also drawn in for the next phase. So those will turn into designated. So there's like 3 more past that.
Just for single hangars?
Nope, these are for T hangars, but we probably could do either or, I would imagine. So that was designated for T hangars. Then, as you know, these are the spaces. I think the next phase will either be out here, or it'll be, these were drawn in as potential. There's, obviously areas to get, and then same with up here.
And that has taxiway access.
There's, the problem here is the fence.
Right.
And so so it's kind of just that process of opening that back up with FAA and looking at, how we plan for it and move forward.
So theoretically, we are in a position to accept hangar requests or hangar applications for quite a few more at this point.
No. we don't have, no, that's what I was saying, is we have one more
We gotta wait till
space
we change our plan.
designated for a commercial-sized hangar like Capousin, JDN, and now Menke will build. Squirrels is even bigger, but they're a business. So a commercial-sized hangar is different, obviously, than a T-hangar building. We have about one more space that's ready and designated.
Okay, so my question really is that's all we can do is change the scheme and to make that space available.
Yeah, so I'm trying to, I'm not probably using the best word, but, so the way the layout plan works is you designate things that you're gonna do. And we've done almost all of them on our current plan. So we're ready to renew the plan and go forward and tell them now what. So when they've had things that are designated, now they're gonna open up ones that were reserved and they weren't quite designated, and those will become more usable. So they'll be able to go forward to be built out, in other words. So,
Okay.
so it's kind of like you have your plan and you see these are the things you can build today, and then these are the things for future. Well, those future things will become today, and then we'll have further future things.
I just want to be sure that we are, as much as possible, ready, willing, and able to accept hangar applications.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it depends on the ALP,
yeah, and that's what we'll.
not the harbor scheme of improvement.
Yeah, not the,
And that's all approved by the FAA.
yeah.
So how long does that process take? When will we submit
Well,
to have those shifted?
Yeah, it should be quicker this time. The last plan, I came to the port in 2010 and they had the plan open, and I think it opened in '08, I want to say, and it didn't get formalized till 13.
Ooh, gosh.
That's not normal.
That's, okay, good.
So-
I was gonna say.
But we're in the middle of a battle at
Yeah.
that point.
Yeah.
Are we planning to do it in
I think
2023?
it was I want to say it was on our 24
Oh, okay.
plan.
Okay.
But with thoughts that, the expediting of some of the environmental and that
Yeah.
kind of thing, it could creep forward.
Yeah.
Time goes a lot quicker than I think, so
Yeah.
23 we'll be
Right.
looking at, this time next year we'll be looking at 24, so.
But if we know we have demand coming up,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Got people-
I
Well, I
mean,
think in order to create demand, you have to have
Yeah.
availability.
Space.
That's my
what's interesting is this, again, this plan was approved, so it was talked about '08 forward. It was approved formally in 13, and it wasn't until, 2020 that our first hangar request.
Oh, yeah, and we haven't had them for a long time. But I thought you made a comment that there were other people that were interested in building hangars.
There's one other.
Oh,
right now,
okay,
And we
okay.
have
I was
space
thinking
for
there
that
was
one
three.
other.
Okay.
No. And then the one that's doing the hangar
Yeah.
complex.
Okay.
So we have room for hangar, anyone that would.
But
wanna
we
do
have
it
guys
in
in
the
waiting
building.
line to rent hangar space.
They are,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's a philosophical question. The port built some of those hangars and used cash to do that. I guess my opinion of port's money is it should be based more on building buildings that house businesses.
Right.
Not
Right,
private
private
airplanes, marinas,
Right,
same
marinas,
story,
right, you bet.
I
Yeah,
think someone else should
Should do
build
that.
and
Yeah, I
decide they
agree.
want to do that.
Mhm.
But you get into if somebody else builds a hangar building and they now want to lease it
Mhm.
out to tenants, if they're leasing for a different price than then we're
Yeah.
in competition. So it becomes kind of a question mark, is
Yeah.
that something you want to, I look at our positioning and thinking that we want to use the port dollars for jobs. And I don't see, except for during the construction of those
Right.
hangar buildings, that it
Yeah,
drags
that's
jobs.
Right.
Unless there was some
Squirrel on
business
squirrel,
that came
yeah.
and wanted to.
Well, that's
Makes
kind of what I'm
sense.
thinking, is that it may not be creating jobs on our property necessarily, but we could be getting commercial hangar tenants with business planes who, maybe they're located not on our property,
Yeah.
but here locally, and they want to be able to fly in and fly out. so.
And that'll all be addressed in that plan. And and discussed, and then you have to think about at what level do you serve that, because our runway length becomes a
Yeah.
question, and do we lengthen, that kind of thing, so, anyway.
All in good time.
Yeah,